My name is Jane. So I have a question about Turiya, specifically when it's described as the space between two thoughts. So is it correct to say that this gap between thoughts is only noticed a moment later when we're actively thinking about it? So while in the gap, there's no thinking, and so there's no noticing it either. Is it simply is, nothing else to be thought about or perceived?
Yes, well put. I think it's one of the Advaitic texts, Vakyavritti perhaps, I have forgotten which one, a small introductory text, Prakarana Grantha, in which Shankaracharya himself has pointed this out, that in the gap between two thoughts, consciousness alone shines, illumining the gap between two thoughts. So the witness consciousness shines there. There's actually a long debate between the Buddhist school of mind only, Vijnanavada. They say that there is no permanent consciousness. They say there's no permanent consciousness. The school of Vijnanavada, Yogachara Vijnanavada. That's a school of mind only. Now they say what is there is a stream of flashes of consciousness. So there's a momentary flash of consciousness, then another momentary flash of consciousness, then another momentary flash of consciousness. As against the Advaitic or Sankhyan idea that there is one underlying constant illumination, consciousness. This is the argument. And they say that it's because it is a continuous stream of flashes, it generates an illusion of continuity, but there is no continuity. And they give the example of a firebrand being whirled around. If I whirl my finger around like that, you will very soon see a circle. So it looks like a continuous circle, but what is it? It's one dot of light being whirled around. Similarly, there are flashes of light, flashes of consciousness coming instantaneously, one after another. And they seem like one continuous consciousness, but there is no continuous consciousness, and therefore there is no continuous self. That's the Buddhist argument. Now, the arguments against that, given by the Nyaya school, by the Vedantins also, here is one argument which relates to what you're asking. The reply is that, so you're saying it's a series of flashes of consciousness. Yes. So it's a discrete series, one flash, one flash, one flash, one flash. Or is it continuous? It's discrete, that's what we said, momentary flashes of consciousness. So one arises and then disappears and another one arises. There's a gap between each one of them. Is there a gap or is there no gap? There has to be. If there is no gap, then it becomes one continuous consciousness. But if there is a gap, how do you know, is that gap known or unknown? If that gap is known or established, it requires consciousness. If it is unknown, why speak of it? If it's unknown and unknowable, why speak of it? If it is experienceable, then consciousness must be there to experience it. You can't have an experience without consciousness. So there is consciousness in the gap also. So it's not a flash anymore. In either case, one continuous consciousness is established. Now, that's not to say that the Buddhists are not onto something. They are. What arises and disappears, what flashes in and out, is what is called vijnana, the movements, the vrittis of the buddhi, the intellect, the mind. The mind is continuously flickering. And those are discrete flickerings. In between two flickerings is no flickering at all. The mind is supposed to be silent in between the two. And only consciousness illumines that. So in the silence between two flashes of thought, of emotion, of perception, of judgment, of memory, between two flashes, in that silence, in that gap, it will be a blankness, momentary blankness. If you can see yourself as the witness of that blankness, which you are, then you realize that you are pure consciousness. Or Turiya, pure consciousness. Now, one must extend this a little further. This pure consciousness is not only there between the flashes of movements of the mind, between the gaps, but it's also there when the mind is active. Not only the absence of thought is revealed by consciousness, thoughts are also revealed by consciousness. Emotions are revealed. How do I know that I have a thought? How do I know I feel pain and pleasure? How? Because you are aware, you're conscious. That same consciousness which felt relaxed and calm, and suddenly there's a pinch, ouch, you say. Same consciousness reveals that, experiences it. So consciousness is continuous, the revealer of the movements of thought, the revealer of the gaps between the movements of thought. In fact, samadhi is an attempt to widen that gap. To cessation of the movements of the mind, you widen that gap more and more. But all that will do is, it will show you as the ever-present witness. And once you know that you are the ever-present witness, you can see even when the mind is not in samadhi, when the thoughts are coming, memories are coming, pleasure and pain are coming, actions are being performed, you are the same witness consciousness.